Story 1. Follow your passion. When it comes to career advice, sometimes your passion should just be a side project or hobby. In addition, sometimes your passion can turn sour if you do it all day, every day trying to make ends meet. The better advice: do something you are really good at. If you are really good at it, you will be a hot commodity, and you will eventually actually really love it because people love things they are good at. Story 2. Never go to bed angry with your partner. While to some extent it's not the worst advice, sometimes people need time to process their feelings. Forcing someone to talk to you when they might still be feeling the most angry or sad, especially when it's late at night and they could be tired, is just going to stress everyone out. I just think it's not the worst thing in the world if people want time, space, or even sleep to be able to calm down. Story 3. Never change Cat Williams. Thanks for the upvotes. The edit is to give credit to Cat Williams. He was asked this question and his answer was that it has always stuck with me. Story 4. Life advice is situational. What works for most people may not work for me. Different people have different things going on in their lives, which significantly alter the effects of such advice. Taking life advice is fine as long as one does not follow it blindly. Story 5. Practice makes permanent. If you practice doing it wrong, you will do it wrong more. Guidance and coaching exist for a reason. Story 6. Work hard for your company and you will be rewarded. You have to operate as your own brand and leave for more money. Employers do not care about you. Story 7. Live like it's the last day of your life. I got blackout drunk by 9 a.m., took every drug I ever wanted to, and then ended up needing my stomach pumped by midday. Story 8. If someone insults you or bullies you, ask, what did I do to cause them to do this? What can I do to change their behavior toward me? My mom's idea of making me into a master communicator turned me into a damaged anxiety bag, incapable of defending myself and thinking abuse of any kind, including hers, is somehow my fault. You can probably guess why I blew a gasket when she tried telling my daughter the same. Story 9. You should want the best for your spouse, but this is usually presented in a way that implies men should not set boundaries with their spouse at all. This is the worst advice possible. It creates weak men and petulant women, and both are equally unhappy. Story 10. If someone bullies you, just ignore them and they'll stop on their own because they get bored. Disastrous advice. The right thing to do is to become strong in order to defend yourself adequately so that the bully realizes that he doesn't have an easy game and the effort and risk become too great for him, so he stops. Story 11. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. As someone else once said, do what you love and you'll learn to hate that as well. Work is work, whether you love it or not. And there's nothing as sad as starting to despise something you previously took joy from because you started to depend on it for income. Better advice. Find one thing in your life that you deeply enjoy and avoid turning it into a job at all costs. Because life isn't worth living if you don't have at least one thing you can fall back on without expecting anything else in return except happiness. Story 12. The generalization of go to college and get a major. The pressure causes many people to accumulate debt and choose a major that makes it harder to achieve a return on investment. Story 13. Never give up. If something is not working, the sooner you give up, the sooner you can try something that has a chance of working. Giving up is an important life skill and absolutely essential for success in business. Otherwise, you are often just wasting money and throwing good money after bad. If it is not working, try something else. Story 14. Sleep when the baby sleeps. It takes me 2 hours, a sacrifice, and a rain dance to fall asleep on a good day. On top of not wanting to live in a mess. Yeah, that's not going to work. I've got stuff to do. Story 15. Get married. It's time. There is no specific time or age to get married. You're ready when you're ready. Hit 25, and the entire family is on your back 24/7. Story 16. Fake it till you make it. Decide what you want to do in life, what is important for you, who you want to be and associate with, and learn everything you can to get there. This fake it till you make it mentality suggests that you can convince experts in the field that you are just as capable and knowledgeable. You are not, so know your place, put in the time and effort that everyone else does, and fight that imposter syndrome. Edit. I understand the meaning behind it, but I believe it's poorly worded. I think the actual meaning is to find what you want to do, be very observant of others, and practice your craft, whatever it is. Story 17. Finding a job that is your passion. That's how you end up with tons of student debt in a field that pays nothing. You need to find a job that you enjoy, but save your passions for time off. I have plenty of passions, but if I tried a career in them, I'd be broke. Story 18. Your parents really care about you, and you should talk to them about your concerns. I see this so often on Reddit. Sometimes one or both parents can be evil, abusive, nasty individuals, and telling them about the issues is not the right answer. I knew someone who got that advice and talked to his father. He literally got his hand nailed to the table as a result. Yes, you read that right. Do not advise this unless you are fully sure of the response you'll get. I swear some people think that everyone's family is like their own and never even stop to think. Story 19. Save, save, save. While yes, having a decent emergency savings and retirement fund is sound advice, saving every extra penny you have, just because it's good advice, is foolish. My parents have done this, have minimal credit card debt, they freak out if there's $500 on there, multiple savings funds, no mortgage, and the maximum in pensions and individual retirement accounts. But they're getting older and more frail. My dad has major balance issues and struggles to walk on his own. My mom is getting there. They had dreams to travel the world. They loved hiking and camping before they had me. And now, they can't do those things. They saved all this money for when they turn 70. Dad is almost 80. And they can't enjoy it to the fullest. It's sad, really. I get the concept of saving as much as you can for real life, but not when you can't enjoy it anymore. This weekend, I got so angry at my dad for shutting down the idea of a cruise they'd wanted to go on for decades due to money. I told him flat out, well, Dad, you and Mom aren't getting younger, and frankly, we don't know how much time you both have. You have the money. Use it for goodness sake. Enjoy the rewards while you can. I think it helped because they're looking into the cruise more now. Story 20. Everything happens for a reason. No, sometimes terrible things just happen. Sometimes there is no reason, like there is no reason for somebody to get raped, trafficked, or be abused. Story 21. Don't care about what other people think. Ikare. You should too. It helps you get the job you want, the partner you want, and pretty much everything else that depends on someone's opinion, including avoiding unnecessary judgment and watchful eyes. Also, any generalized piece of advice should be taken with a grain of salt. Story 22. Do what you love and you will never work a day in your life. Nonsense. Turn your beloved passion into a job and you will grow to hate it just as surely as you would hate a crop of hemorrhoids. Story 23. Follow your passion. Sounds great until you realize your passion is napping and eating snacks, and neither pays the bills. Sometimes you have to follow the paycheck and let passion be a side quest. Story 24. I don't know if this counts as life advice, but boys will be boys is basically teaching your daughters that it's okay for a boy to misbehave just because they're a boy. Story 25. Live your truth. You do not owe anybody anything. This is how we get to the insanely hyper-individualistic and conspiracy theory-obsessed population we have today. You owe people things and you can expect things of others. That is how you build community. Your truth is not always right, you can be wrong. It's okay. Obviously, both of these sayings started out in beneficial contexts and prevented people from burning themselves out focusing on others or hiding parts of themselves. But it's totally morphed into a shield that people wield to justify or enable bad behavior. Story 26. If you find a job you love, you will never work a day in your life. No matter what you do for a living, once you become financially dependent and it is no longer a hobby, it is a job. Whether it is music, art, writing, game development, and so on, there are less glamorous work aspects involved in off days. Story 27. Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. This is based on many assumptions, that you'll be able to be paid for the work you love, that you have work you love, that you'll be structurally allowed to work in that field you love, and that you have the ability to do it. Then there's the exploitation. Teachers genuinely love what they do, and that gets used to justify low wages, low benefits, and abuse across the board. Nurses love helping people, and they're told to look the other way when sexually harassed by patients. Don't you love what you do becomes management's compensation plan. But you can't pay rent in trauma and pride. Look at the world. Find a job few either can or will do that you can. Do it. Don't take your work home and live on your days off. Capitalism is vile and designed to suck your soul right out of you. Don't give it one bit. Story 28. Just be yourself. This is probably the worst advice you can give anyone at any age or situation. A lot of the time in real life, you have to make adjustments to your personality. For example, if you are at a job interview, you are going to compose yourself in a mature and adult manner, unlike other situations when you can revert back to your normal emotionally damaged, neurotic, attention deficit disorder self. That last part might just be me. The point is, you cannot always be your normal self. We all wear masks. We have to in order for society to function properly. Story 29. The grass is greener where you water it. If it's relationships we're talking about, then the grass is greener only where both are actively watering. Story 31. You can be all you want to be. 2. It's going to be fun. 3. Stay with him. Don't rock the boat. 4. You can do it. Story 31. Be yourself has limited application. You need to have a mainstream personality to begin with and be in a situation where your inclinations are acceptable. Story 32. Do whatever makes you happy. Partly true, but overlooks the fact that true love and true happiness will very often require you to sacrifice to serve another. Story 33. Sleep when you're dead or sleep is for the weak are terrible pieces of advice. Sleep is just as important as a good diet and exercise in being healthy. Story 34. Ignore the bully or tell a teacher. That is nonsense, and if you tell a teacher, that will just make it worse. If you fight back even just a little bit, there's a good chance they will start leaving you alone. Story 35. Good things come to those who wait. No, good things come to those who make things happen. If you sit around and wait, you'll wake up one day 40 years old, and nothing has happened in your life. Go after what you want. Make it happen today. Story 36. Do not care about what other people think. That is completely absurd. You definitely need to care about what people think sometimes. If you do not, and you do whatever you want, it will really affect your image and ruin your life. No friends, no jobs, and so on. Story 37. Family is family. Cheaters never win. Anybody different is instantly declared evil. Children lie about sexual abuse. Bullying and spankings cause no harm. Some people's lives are less important due to something they have no control over, such as race or sexuality. Story 38. Just be yourself. Sure, but if you are weird and unapproachable, don't expect to get far in life. Sometimes we have to put on a mask to make other people like us. Story 39. If you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. In reality, when you depend on it for your livelihood and have to do it almost every day for years, whether you feel like it or not, you will almost inevitably no longer want to do it outside of work hours. I used to love programming and had all these ideas for projects, but now I don't like dealing with it at work, let alone in my free time. Story 40. Bad people get what is coming to them. They do not. They live their lives, have people who love them, and so on. They are not punished. In fact, they get to be president twice. Story 41. If you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Well, no, I will never drive a Formula One car or play in the National Basketball Association or make a living playing stadiums in a rock band. Story 42. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Story 43. Just wait, and it will find you. If it's about relationships, then it's definitely not the truth. I know this may sound harsh, but not everyone in the world is suited for a relationship. Yes, a hard pill to swallow, I know. Story 44. Live every day as if it is your last. If I am going to die tomorrow, I am not going to take care of myself. I would go binge drinking, spend all my money, and do reckless things. If I did those every day, I would probably be dead in a couple of years. Story 45. To always work hard. Yeah, if you like to waste your energy on things you will not be rewarded for, go ahead. No, not everyone will become a chief executive officer if they work hard enough. No, not everyone will become rich if they work hard enough. I would say 80% of people would be well advised to only work as much as they are being paid for. Story 46. Not sure if it's advice exactly, but people who feel like others should help someone just because they're family. My drug addict brother, who stole money from me to buy crack, asked if he could sleep at my place for a few days. He stole my stuff to sell for drugs last time, but he's family, so of course, I told him he could stay. A piece of a worthless person is a worthless person, regardless of relation. Story 47. The secret of financial success is hard work. No, it's investing your money wisely and not overspending. I'm under 40 and semi-retired. I haven't worked hard for over a decade. Meanwhile, my money is working hard for me. Story 48. Have fun in your 20s and sleep around. Then in your 30s, try to settle down and find a nice, respectful man. Yeah, because I want a 1990 Honda Civic with 500,000 miles on it. No thanks. Story 49. Live life with no regrets. We learn so much new information throughout our lifetime. You better have some regrets about how clueless you were when you were less experienced. Story 50. That everyone should get a credit card early in life to build up their credit score. Many people are not responsible enough to make wise use of a credit card when they are young. They end up with a pile of high-interest debt that they struggle with for years.